Guys, what's going on? Today we have a very good friend of mine, Nick Walker. What's up, bro?
What's up, man?
What up, bro? Bro, I like that jersey, man. Everybody fucking loves that jersey.
I wear this shit probably like every other day.
I gotta get you like 5 pairs, so that way you don't have to worry about washing it all the time.
I know I need one from Monday through Friday.
So for that, for guys, for anybody who likes that shirt, man, there's gonna be a mutant drop for there's gonna be some drops for the jerseys and Black Friday, different colors, catered towards two popular baseball teams, and there'll be a couple with the with mutant on the back for all the fans to support Nick
Oh
himself,
yeah.
man. So I want to bring Nick on, guys, and so Nick is, you guys know, if you don't know who Nick is, you might as well just click off and get off because you don't know anything about bodybuilding. So um, I wanted to bring Nick on because I wanted to talk about what life is for an IFBB pro bodybuilder compared to how life, if it was different when you were like an amateur, for example. Because a lot of everybody kind of sees the positives, they'll see, what the stage is, right? They'll see the pictures we want to put up, on social media. And, outside of everybody else, like you're very active on social media as it is. I think you're one of the most active pros by far. So I think that drives the fan base drastically because we as fans are always huge. We want to know about the athletes we follow and we look up to. So, you know, I want to touch base on probably the dark stuff first, man. Like what makes bodybuilding like what's the dark side behind the scenes that people don't get to see that you guys have to battle outside of just the regular fucking diet shit, man?
Honestly, I think I could dive into this many different ways, but I think for majority of the people, especially me in particular, I think because everything did happen so fast for me, once I got my pro card, I don't think I really had the time to really let everything sink in.
Yeah.
I was just kind of on to the next thing. After I won New York, I kind of let that sink in a little bit, but then we were right on to let's go do the Arnold. So then my mind was like, okay, now I got to go win the Arnold. And then once I won the Arnold, which in everyone's eyes is like, holy shit, your first Arnold, it's the biggest accomplishment in the world right now. After I won, my thought process was, okay, well, 2 weeks at Olympia. Now we're going to take care of business there. So I never had time to really let anything sink in. So for me, because everything did happen so fast to a certain degree, the more pressure I applied on myself behind the scenes, that after the Olympia, things really just started to hit the fan for me mentally. And because I just didn't want to stop, I just wanted to keep going and keep
Yeah.
going, knowing I probably didn't need that break. Um, I didn't want to. I just wanted to keep going. And because of the pressure that I applied on myself, because of the year I just had, I think I just started to mentally just go downhill because I feel like I had now had to live up to this
Yeah.
expectation that everybody uh, perceives of me. And I think for a while I stopped enjoying it
Yeah.
and got in the mindset of I have to be better than what I was last year, even though that is the goal, regardless.
Mm-hmm.
The pressure that I applied on myself to make sure it happens, I think started to just backfire on me more than anything else.
Now, how do you feel that? Because everybody has different pressure, right? It hits them differently. What would you say, like, it hit you the most? Is it like when you in between your free time? Is it just, just
Yeah, I think when you have that downtime, which as a bodybuilder, I mean, yet you want as much downtime as you can to just chill and relax. But I do feel that is the time when majority of everyone gets in their head.
yes,
They sit down, they're thinking about this, they're thinking about this. That's why like when a lot of bodybuilders say, it sucks that I don't get to live the lifestyle because I have a job.
yeah,
Sometimes that might not be a bad thing
yeah. I see what. Yeah, I
because
agree
your
with you.
mind is distracted now. I'm
Uh
not
huh.
saying work a hard laboring job, but like say, you're a pro bodybuilder, you're living that lifestyle, you're doing this, you're doing that, but you just have a job. Like you work, like say you work at a supplement
Yep.
store where you're around a bunch of people, you get the bullshit, hang out, your mind's not doing this, your mind's not doing it's just chill. Sometimes that might be better for certain people.
Yeah,
you
I
know?
I would agree with you on that. From definitely from my point, um, listen, I'm just an amateur, but I know when I'm in prep, the shit gets very like you because you don't look perfect like your pictures every time. You're always sizing yourself up and comparing versus others. You know what I'm saying? So, the higher you go, especially on your level, you're talking fucking pressure. People don't even realize what it is. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So your mind is going to be busy. But if you keep yourself active around individuals and so forth, that time goes by quicker and it makes it a lot easier. So I would say, yeah, I would agree with you 100% on that aspect. That's
Yeah, and
definitely
I think, to dive a little deeper, I think the split between me and Matt really fucked with my head bad.
yeah,
Um, and I did feel lost
yeah.
because I'm not one to trust people. I think you know that. I don't
Hmm.
really trust people at all. I don't believe most people are trustworthy. And that's nothing against any, that's just what I've been through in my life. That's just kind of how I live it. Matt was one of the very few people in my life that I trusted and that knew how to keep me at a very calm state.
Yeah,
So when that everything happened, I felt lost. Um, and then, obviously I got with Dom, and that didn't. Dom's great. Dom was a great coach. I have nothing negative to say about Dom. He's very smart, very intelligent, very caring as an individual. For me, we just didn't mesh well, and I think that's deep down. I knew where my heart was.
right.
So for me, but even though like me and Matt are back together, yes, this is where I belong. But for me, I think it was more about I just wanted that friendship back.
Of course.
I didn't, it wasn't about the coaching. Like I'm glad, don't get me wrong, I'm glad he's coaching, but
Hmm.
it was I want to rebuild the friendship that we had. Like that was most important. So we started to do that, and then we got to a point where we just said, hey, let's just do it. So we did it.
Yeah, I remember because we spoke about this, way before too, man. And I know, how close it was family, right? And a lot of people who compete, the bond that people grow between a coach becomes like a family bond. You know what I'm
Of
saying?
course.
And a lot of times a coach becomes like a father figure, somebody that you look up to, and you want to basically be close to them, and they're back there supporting you 100%. So when that, because to me that was like a family breakup. I remember we even
It
spoke about
was.
that before, and even when I seen Matt a couple of weeks ago in New York, I told him too. I was like, look, man, I'm glad the family, right, is back together, you and Matt, because he looked at you like you was a second dad. And just like you mentioned, Dom is an awesome, I'm sure Dom is an awesome coach, just like you said. But what people don't realize is you need an awesome coach, but you need somebody there, because outside of sending the plan and outside checking on the pictures, there's tons of more hours throughout the week where we need that coach to be like, yo, man, how's everything going?
Yeah. And
What's going on
listen,
mentally?
Dom was like that. Dom was really good at it. There was just for me, it was the connection that just wasn't there. And you could have the best coach in the world. You could be working with Chris Aceto, you could be working with Honey Rambach. If that connection isn't like there,
Yeah.
it's not going to work. It's just not going to work.
Yeah, I agree. So, are you close now? Are you seeing Matt more often now?
No, I wouldn't say more often. I send him pictures right now. I'd say every 2 days.
Yeah.
The last time I seen him was obviously during the hurricane.
Yes.
But for me, it's just the mental part
Of
where
course.
I just feel better now. I'm where I belong. I feel everything's going the way it needs to go, even though my weight's not really changing too drastically, which I guess it's fine now. My body is. So, and like I said, I just trust him to a T. So whatever he
Yeah.
says, I do it. It doesn't, I don't question it.
Is does Matt live in Florida now? Or is he still
Yeah,
out of
yeah.
state?
He lives in Stewart.
Okay. And how far away from there is that? Like 2 3 hours?
3 hours. Yeah.
Okay. Are you planning to make more trips down there for a couple of days as you get closer towards the season? I mean, towards the
Yeah,
end of the year.
yeah. depending on how things go, I thought about renting an Airbnb for like the
Yeah,
last few weeks before the show,
yeah,
and doing something like that before we take off for the Olympia, so that way he can see me more frequent than not.
yeah. I think that'd be a great. I mean, me personally speaking, I think that'd be a great idea. I mean, who else wouldn't want to be closer to their coach? And
Yeah,
you worked the best when he was with you side by side. It was like the perfect fucking
it's a
plus.
dynamic duo, man.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, it's like fucking. I would say Batman and Robin, but Robin is kind of like. So it's like if you got two Batmans put together.
Yeah,
So yeah, so definitely that's a huge part, man. I'm glad that's working out drastically, man, because we're all excited to see a new version of Nick, and Nick always delivers new versions no matter what, man.
I'm a lot bigger, man.
And you know
It's
what?
crazy.
It is, but you know, at the end of the day, that's the goal, right? Bigger, stay conditioned, stay hard as hell.
Yeah,
Because if you show up the same on stage, I mean, anybody that shows up the same on stage, it's kind of like you're falling behind because everybody improves every year. That's the
of
whole point.
course,
You know what I'm
of
saying? So
course.
it's a matter of who can improve the most and most significantly and make damage. Um, you know, you mentioned on your growth through, you know, the amateur side and the into the pro side and so forth. Now, I remember, listen, man, because we used to train together. So I remember during the amateur side, man, there was fucking constant attacks on social media. You know, I don't like, listen, man, to this day, Nick, and anybody listening, I don't know if I would have been able to not turn off the world with how bad you were being attacked. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it was bad, bro. Like, and I'm not talking about specifics. I'm just talking about how overwhelming it
Yeah.
was consistently. Um, did you notice how did things start changing for you? Because you went from being hated and put down to making noise and then getting to a point where those people who fucking hated you were like begging you to unblock them and let them see your story on social media.
I think what I did was, as you know, is I never fought back.
Mm-hmm.
I just put my head down and continued to work the best way that I knew, because I knew, like, this is where the confidence parts come in. I knew what I was
Yeah.
capable of.
Yeah.
And anybody can say anything, that's great, but I don't know these people. I don't owe these people anything. They're not relevant in my life. They're not in my
Mm-hmm.
close circle. So what am I gonna let a bunch of negativity bother me? So, I always did, and this was my mother's advice. She just told me to shut up, keep doing what you're doing, and just keep proving everyone wrong. That's what I did. But I do think you get to a point within the career, which I'm at now, where sometimes you can't stay quiet.
Yeah.
And I do think you get to a certain point where you do not necessarily fight back, but you do have to open your mouth a little bit
Mm-hmm.
to just defend yourself. Because in the
Yeah.
amateur ranks, right? Like, even beginning of being a pro, you're still not really anybody. Like, you have supporters, you have this, but like, you're no one yet.
Right.
So like, when people talk shit, they talk shit. It is what it is. But now when you become this, I don't want to say icon, or but someone that's really at the high ranks,
Correct.
everything matters now. Like, you have to watch every move you make, anything you say on
Yeah.
social media, because even if you said something and in your mind you meant it a different way, it can get twisted into wholly something different. And
Yes.
now it gets completely blown out of proportion.
Yes.
So even now, like, yes, I do feel to a degree you have to defend yourself to a certain extent, but you also don't say too much. Sometimes less is more. Get your
Yeah.
point
Yeah.
across, call it a day, move on. And no matter what, you're even defending yourself. People are gonna still nitpick at it, still gonna
Correct.
still do this. It's fine. You said your piece. You let it go now.
And
Let
that's it.
people have their
And
own
move on. Yeah.
perception. Whether if they're your real fans, they stick by you. If they're not, whatever the case is, they're gonna try and destroy you, and it's fine. I know what needs to be done. I know what my goals are, and as long as people who I'm close with know who I am,
Mm-hmm.
that's what matters.
That's it, bro. That's great. That's advice for everybody that's listening in. I think everybody gets caught up. I think too many people are worried about making everybody happy and everybody like them, right? And then
That's and I that and so social media period has can literally destroy anyone mentally.
yes,
And
yes,
I won't. I mean, I'll use me as an example. I think this year with social media and all the mental shit I did go through, I meant it took over me a little bit. I won't lie, and it's okay. You know, it's what you do after. You have to realize what's happening, what's causing it. You have to change it. If you even though like social media is what helps me, make a living. If you got to delete that shit for a few days, a week, whatever, go do it, man.
yeah,
Like nothing is more important than your mental health. If your mental health is shot to shit, you need to fix it. It does
yeah,
not matter. Yes, it's great to have money, it's great to have this, it's great to have that, but to what degree?
yeah,
If you're jeopardizing your own health, it's not going to make you happy.
yeah. I agree, and that's and a lot of again, a lot of people they're too worried about everybody liking them, man. I learned a long time ago, man. Look, nobody's gonna like you 100%. It's just the
No,
way it is, man. But whatever you do, as long as you're happy and as long as you feel internally, you're presenting a good message, you're helping people. Because for every person that says something negative, you're gonna have, if you're doing the right thing, you're gonna have more people message you, be like, "You helped me. You were there for me. You gave me advice. Thank you so much." That's the fuel of going forward because you can concentrate on those things or you can concentrate on fucking random Bob Joe Schmo message
right.
you and telling you you're a
And
fucking
that's
idiot or some random
and that
shit.
that's my goal. I was like, even when I told the story about me being molested,
Yeah,
even though I was completely embarrassed by it, knowing who I was and the fact that I was starting to impact people on my journey, I thought being real is possible. Is what it's going to help people that follow me, that maybe not something like that happened, but maybe something else or something similar, and they seen that I was able to overcome these things, so they can too.
yeah,
There's people like to battle really anxiety, depression, and things like this, and I have gone through phases where I felt like this,
mm-hmm.
and I was always the type of person like I never, and this isn't against anyone that does this,
Right,
but I was never one to just want to just hop on a medication to fix my problems. I didn't want to be that person. I
yeah,
wanted to be the person that was able to overcome these things by myself. Because I certainly believe if you really want to make a change in yourself, you can do that without any bullshit involved. And that's just what I believe. I never wanted to do that and then become, reliant on these things. I
yeah,
wanted to be
yeah,
able to overcome any issues that I had by myself, find ways that help me get rid of the triggers that I think cause these things and stay away from it. And whatever I think is helping me, attach on to those, like lifting was a way to help me. So now I attached on to it,
mm-hmm.
and it just so happened that it turned out to be a career for me now.
Yeah,
But little things that would trigger me, I would just stay away, even if it was the slightest bit. If I just
yeah,
made me feel just a little, I would step away from it. And I feel once people find ways to cope with things on their own and stay away from the things that cause triggers, they will find in time they don't need to rely on certain things to make them better because they can better themselves.
yeah. No, I agree. And the whole point where you mentioned the triggering, right? By the way, your arm is like bigger than your fucking head. It's just horrendous. Um, the triggering part, I think the people listen, like think about it this way, right? And to anybody listening, when you worry about the things that you shouldn't be worried about, when you're letting negativity get a hold of you, you're basically moving yourself into more ways to get triggered and affect you mentally. You know what I mean?
Yes.
When you just look at it, push it aside, and just keep worrying about how you can make yourself better, or or make other people better, or help other people.
Yes.
That's by far the most rewarding effect that you could possibly ever
It
have.
is. Like, dude, I love when people, the feeling never gets old when people come up to me and, tell me how I helped them or I did this for them. that feeling to this day, that it'll always just give me like the chills, an emotional feel. And I love it, man. I embrace that shit. And that's what, when I'm in my own head, it's little things like that that, keep me going. Everyone is human. Everyone has their flaws. Everyone has their time where they just kind of break.
Yeah.
And it's okay. It's okay to break. It's normal. But you just have to be able to get the fuck out of it
Yeah.
at some form. And it's how you do it that can be very motivational to people. And going through those times, like I don't think like, oh, well, I need to do it like this so I can do it for these people. You don't think about that. You when you're in that moment, you need to do what's best for you at all times. That's what I think some people don't understand. Whether they think it's the right decision or the wrong decision, if it's the right one for you, you can't care what people think. You have to stick by your decision if you know it's the right one for you and stay with it. And in due time, people will understand eventually why you made the decisions that you made to better yourself. Whether they think it's right in the moment or not, down the road, they'll be like, you know what? That probably was the right decision.
Yeah, and a lot of people like, listen, man, I know you for a long time, and I always say, what's the one thing I always say, no matter, I'm like, bro, whatever you're doing, I got your back because if it makes sense for you
Yeah.
at that moment, I know it's making sense. And the reason why I always say that is because I know the difficulty of, the mental things that go on. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I know for a fact, like, and people might not realize this. If Nick Walker follows whatever people are telling him to do, Nick Walker would not be fucking Nick Walker. You know what I'm saying? You technically, not technically, but decisions you make at the end of the day are for your mental health.
For
Like they
sure.
really are. And we talked about this nonstop. You talked about it, but I think a lot of people need to realize that, some decisions you make may not be what everybody is happy to see, right? But
No.
what the mental health and behind the scenes is work, doing, if it helps, then that's all that matters. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't realize is the decisions you're making aren't making because you want to make people fucking mad at you or enemies. It's just decisions you're making at that time. You know what I'm saying? And
Exactly.
whatever fucking waves go away and so forth, at the end of the day, Nick is Nick, always going to be Nick. So if Nick was cool before a decision, Nick is always going to be cool after the decision too. It's just at that moment, the decision is made for the mental health aspect. Because listen, your career is bodybuilding. It's a
Yeah.
stage. You know what I'm saying? You have to make the decisions you have to make to get up there. Um, and that's the bottom line, man. And I think people should look up to you a lot, man, because listen, man, one of the biggest things, and I'm always going to say this, man, fuck the shit you used to go through, bro. It was like,
Yeah, I forgot you know a lot.
yeah, man. I remember fucking the times we would work out, we would be like, look at this shit. And I'm like, what
Yep.
the fuck, man?
Yeah.
And like, even like me, myself, when I would go back and look at it, be like, fuck, bro. Like, that shit would fucking hurt me. And I wasn't even coming at me. You know what I
Right.
mean? And I remember we would talk, and the next thing you know, you do 5, 6 more reps. You know what I'm saying? And but yeah, so that's definitely something huge, man. The next thing about like the bodybuilding is how's the whole fucking, well, I know how dating life is because I'm fucking married to somebody that's in fitness,
Yeah.
and my ex-wife was not in fitness, so we can kind of just figure that aspect out right there. But you know, how's the whole dating scene, man? Is it tough? You know what I'm saying? Because I know you're in a relationship now, right?
Yeah.
And she's a great girl, man.
She is.
She's fucking awesome, and especially all the stuff you said, good, positive. You actually didn't even say anything negative about her ever. Um, it seems like she's the individual that got the mental aspect with you is like on the same page. But what would you say, like, what's the big key takes from when it comes to relationships and dating within like the bodybuilding world on a high level?
Okay, so I'll speak out of my relationship and just in a general sense
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
When you're dating a bodybuilder, whether they're at an amateur level, just beginning their pro career, or they're at the top of the ranks, if their goal is very specific, like mine was, the significant other needs to understand that they're going to be locked into the fullest,
Yep.
and it's nothing personal. They're going to see, especially if they start to date someone, say in the off season, where like they're locked in, but they give a lot of time. You know what I mean? Once that switch is flipped, which mine's usually always flipped. People, they will see that the attention that they give their significant other will fade little by little, because now whatever they're required, now they got to get up at say they have a job, just for example, they have a job, they get up
Yeah.
at 4 in the morning, they got to do cardio for an hour, right? Then they got to get a shower, they got to eat their meal, they got to go work their 9 to 5, and then they got to go right to the gym after for a couple hours, and they got to do some more cardio after. Then they're going to come home, and then they're going to shower, prep their meals, and then they're going to want to go to bed.
Yeah.
And then that significant other is going to be like, what's going
on? That's true.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's just the reality of it. But even when dating a competitor, I have been through some experiences. I've seen some experiences. They sometimes still don't get it.
Yeah.
And that's why it's like, well, what's better, dating a competitor or a non-competitor? At the end of the day, I think it's whoever understands the best. Like I know guys that have successful relationship with women that have no idea what this industry is about. Like they know nothing. And then I have seen people that have relationships that are very successful with women that are in the industry. But when I say in the industry, I mean like they're in it, but not in it. Meaning they work out. They maybe used to compete, but they love the lifestyle. They want to be involved in it, but not so involved in it. And they'll support you on everything you have. Now, I truly believe if you have two alphas in a relationship where, you're at the top of your game, you're doing this, you're doing that. The girl's, maybe not so much at the top of her game, but almost at the top of her game. And, she's this, she's that. That's where a collision occurs.
Yeah.
And somebody, whether it's the guy or the girl, might have to take their alpha down to the beta. You know what I mean? They might have to, make some sacrifices here.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, this might sound subjective to a lot of people, but depending on where you're at in your career, I believe it should be the girl that makes the necessary sacrifice for the guy. Like, for example, for me, I'm at the top of the game. Like I'm contending to win the fucking Mr. Olympia for a lot of money here and to hold that title forever. Now, if I was dating a female that's not really at that level, but she has her goals, which is fine, and she really wants the relationship to work, to some degree, she has to be like, okay, like you come first right now. And then like, when it's time for her to do her thing, it's her turn to go first now. But there has to be a very strong understanding of how this is going to work. Being me 9 weeks out, you know how I am.
Yeah.
I don't like to talk. Like I don't want to. Don't call me with bullshit. Don't do like I don't care. And it's nothing personal. I just right now I don't care. Call me, after the Olympia. We'll talk about all your issues. But right now, you find someone else. It's not happening.
Yeah, I get it.
And I don't feel like that's necessarily a bad trait to have. That's everyone knows to be a bodybuilder requires a large amount of selfishness, a large amount of sacrifices that need to be made.
Correct.
And I know for me, and this probably goes for a lot of the top competitors, I have sacrificed a shit ton. My mother will even tell you all this, but I knew it would be worth it. At the end of the day, I knew what I was doing was going to get me to where I needed to be. Now I have torn through quite a few relationships. Some, that I just knew weren't going to work. Some that, did break me down and I would bounce back. Relationships for me in general are hard because I know what I've been through.
Yeah.
And if I really like a female, but I also know who I am as a person, it will stress me out and conflict me because like I want to make this as easy for them but I also have a job to do.
Yeah.
So that's just where you have to find the middle ground. And if it works, great. If it doesn't, you need to figure that shit out sooner than later.
Yeah. That's right there. We're on a point. It's definitely a struggle. But again, it comes down to look, man, the biggest thing is like you said, it has to be the other partner has to understand what you're in, right? If you had a different career, then they would have to understand too. Imagine if you were a CEO of a company. Well, listen, I gotta travel to, this country, I gotta be away for
Well,
this many
yeah, even that.
hours,
Yeah.
so forth. So I'll see you when I see you. And it really comes down to the person. And look, man, we know the deal. If you really love somebody, you make it. You're willing to make the sacrifices because their other person's success is your happiness, right? So in other words, like whoever's dating you, right? Her happiness is going to be when Nick succeeds, and then
Yes.
she's going to be happy she's been able to help Nick succeed by providing him what he needs or to pull back when he needs to. Because then
I
when Nick,
agree. Yes.
because when Nick becomes success, when he succeeds, then he has some free time. Then it goes back to regular, and then it goes back to work. So, yeah, it's one of those things that's very huge, man. Especially going now into the Olympia. So speaking of this Olympia, man, dude, social media is making this Olympia like the fucking Olympia of all Olympias, man.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna win the Olympia this year. Fucking every single person showing up. All these new names that haven't even fucking competed are gonna win the win the Olympia. Uh,
It's this is the Olympia of all Olympias right now.
bro, it's I'm excited to see it. Um, how do you feel overall? Like, I mean, outside because there's hype, right? Every year there's hype. I mean, this year there's just stupid hype. Um, what's your take on the whole thing, man? Besides, I'm just gonna fucking show up and knock everybody out on stage.
I'll tell you this: as confident as I am, I'll always be confident. This is not going to be easy for anyone, and that's just reality here.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's placing from last year is safe for this year. Of course, we have the heavy hitters,
Yep.
but you also have some dark knights here that can rise up and just shock the world here.
Yeah.
So we don't know exactly what to expect, but I know there's no one safe.
Yeah.
Now that like I said, I see Derek every day pretty much.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. That dude nails it. No one's safe. You have Samson. He nails it. No one's safe.
Yeah.
And, you got Hunter, who's looking mighty large.
Mm-hmm.
You got, Hottie, of course. Brandon, we don't know what to expect from him, but Brandon's always Brandon, right?
Yes.
And then Rami, who's looks like he's suffering hard. He's already got the cheekbones popping.
I know. I seen that, man. I seen that.
He's ready to go. So if this is going to be one of those Olympias where you have to be like fucking peeled and ready and full, like you have to. This is that show where they say you're not going to nail your peak every show. Well, this is the one where
you gotta nail it or you're fucked. Yeah.
You got to fucking nail it today. This is the one. Because I do believe any slip up from anyone, and then anyone can step up.
Yes.
And vice versa. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah,
it's going to be interesting.
What now when the Olympia's done, how do you still feel like you want to trend right into the Arnold, or is there anything holding you back? Well, maybe I'll skip the Arnold, or what are you thinking?
I'd like to do the Arnold. I mean, I'm sure that'll be a discussion me and Matt have.
Yeah.
But to me, right now, it's just all going to be where my head's at after the Olympia, and go from there. At this point in my career, I will always now put my mental state first.
Of course.
If after the Olympia, I'm kind of like, let me get a week, because I go home for the holidays.
Yeah.
After a show, you're like, I don't want to fucking do it no more. I'm done. You go
home
for the holidays.
We had that fucking conversation. Yeah.
I feel great. Let's do the Arnold.
Listen, we had that the last time you were down. I forget. I think it was it the after the Olympia? I think it was after the Olympia. You were down and we were fucking training, and we're like, and you're like, dude, man, I don't know, man. I'm getting like I need a break. I'm like, no problem, Nick. I'll talk to you in like 2 weeks when you're ready to fucking rock it out again. And it was literally like that, dude. And
Yeah,
we're
because
all like that.
sometimes I just need a little getaway to eat some shit, food, relax
Yeah.
for a few days, and usually I'm golden. But I did compete, all year last year,
Yes, you did.
so that did take I think a large toll. But now that I'm only doing one show, like I said, I'll see how I feel. If I do really well with Olympia and I'm running off a high, I'll go do the Arnold. If things don't go the way I plan and I'm not in it, I'm gonna take a break.
Yeah.
It's all gonna depend, how I feel. I mean, I could do bad at the Olympia, but I'm like, fuck it, I need to redeem myself. We're gonna go do the Arnold. Um, so it's just gonna depend how I feel. I mean, but
Yeah, a
as
lot
of
of
right
it's
now,
just in the air. I get it. Yeah, you just
yeah, as
don't.
of right now, mindset wise, it is something I'd like to do. Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, man, my advice always to me is gonna be like, bro, do every Olympia and Arnold and stack those fuckers into
Well, that's what
history.
I'm saying. I want to win as many Arnold's Olympia as I can because
Yeah.
at this point in my career, that's I want to. I don't want to compete all year long, and I want to do the top two big shows, fucking run it, and then when I'm ready to call it, for my career, I'm ready. But I
Yeah.
want to do it on my terms.
Right. Because if you want, if for any like, for, if you want to make yourself immortal within the bodybuilding world, especially when you move on outside of bodybuilding, and it's time to move on, you know, Arnold and Olympia are the ones that are going to be remembered the most. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? You could win. Listen, you could win 10, whatever pro shows, but if you win, I'm just throwing random numbers. You win, one Olympia and two Arnolds, that's remembered forever,
Of course.
forever, man. So yeah, I would definitely say that would be the biggest fucking opportunities for sure, man. So finally, I just want to bullshit now a little bit. So Nick, what you watching on your spare time on TV, man? Any good shows people can
Oh
grab?
my god, bro! I watched the new Halloween on Peacock.
You can't tell me that was good. The
What's
other
wrong?
ones sucked.
It
Was
was
it?
it was it was trash, bro.
Oh my god, man.
I thought Halloween Kills was trash, but this one makes Halloween Kills look like a fucking Academy Award winning performance.
That's pretty fucking bad.
This third one, did you watch it?
I didn't bother. I saw Halloween Killers and I was like, what the fuck is going on?
No, okay. Let me talk about Halloween Kills. In my opinion, I thought was a good movie up until the end, where he's getting his fucking face bashed in by a million people, and then comes out of the woodworks and just starts slicing and dicing everyone.
Yeah.
Like, no, dude, that's not real.
Well, yeah, because Myers was always like a human that's not really
He would get
immortal,
fucked up by like one person, slice him, and then
but he was
boom.
good because he was like
But then
fucking
he had like 15 people fucking beating him with guns and baseball bats, getting shanked. And it's like a fucking little thing switch. And he's like, oh, my turn.
type. Yeah. Did you ever see the Halloween remakes from Rob Zombie?
Yeah, I didn't like him.
You didn't like him? I thought they were good because
I liked the first one.
yes.
I didn't like the second one.
Okay. I thought the first one was fucking awesome because it showed you the person, Mike Myers.
Yeah, my mom hated it.
I thought it
Because
was fucking
she's
great.
used to the original, right?
Okay,
So
yeah,
like
yeah,
when
yeah.
we saw the remake, I remember, I'll never forget it. We went in theaters to see it. And we got done, and we're going in the car, and she's like, that was horrible. She's like, they portrayed Michael Myers to be this horrible kid when in the original he was like this normal kid who just went crazy. I'm like, yeah, but how do you know? They didn't explain it in the original.
Yeah, I think they had to build it up to why that switch started clicking in
So
his
yeah,
head.
in that sense, I liked it too, but I thought the second one was not that good.
Did you watch the Jeffrey Dahmer one? The Jeffrey Dahmer?
Yeah, bro, that was fucked up.
I feel like they could. I feel like instead of 8 episodes, it could have been in 5 because I feel like
They could have shortened it.
Yeah, because I
there were
feel
kind of parts where I was getting bored a little bit. I won't lie.
yeah, and
I was kind
I
of like, all right, let's go.
and I feel like they wanted to portray the man on men love so much where it became sitcom wise versus the hero story. That actor, you never watched American Horror Story, did you?
No, but I know he does well in that. But he also plays the fast guy in X-Men.
Yes, Quicksilver. Yes.
Yes,
So
Quicksilver.
when you have free time, well, if you have fine free time,
I have free time.
so listen, man, please pick up American Horror Story. All right.
Is he in all of them?
He's on almost all of them. There's 10 seasons. Season 11's coming out now. Not the stories, bro, not the episode ones, but the season ones that have like different
Okay, yeah.
seasons. Every single season is a whole different story.
And
Okay?
he's in all of them.
He's in just about all of them. Just pick up season one, dude. Like,
All right.
so let's say season one is about it's centered around the haunted house with fucking 10 different stories in it. Season two is around like an asylum. Season three is like I think around
That's pretty
witches.
cool.
Yeah, so every season you had a whole different story, and then you have the similar characters playing. But what American Horror Story does is usually when you watch a series, it's fucking boring, right?
Yeah,
You have
yeah,
to watch
yeah.
the filler. Bro, by the time you reach the middle episodes, you're already in a whole different fucking story. Every single episode is full blown fucking shit happening, killing,
For real.
whatever horror. And it's listen, bro, it's so good. I rewatched a lot of the seasons over again. Like just because of
I'm gonna have to
yeah,
check it out.
just because of that character, I rewatched another season just for the past couple of days.
Yeah.
So anybody listening right now for American Horror Story, and maybe they'll send us some money for promoting them. Probably not. Check that out. And fucking and we already talked about Hulk. That shit, that She-Hulk, that was fucking
Horrible.
trash. I feel like it was like a whole fucking series, but everything fucking feel good.
You know what movie I watched that was pretty good? Did you hear the movie called Beast
Yes.
with Idris Elba, where the big ass
Yes.
lion?
Yes.
That was suspenseful, man.
Yes, because you would have never expected that from a fucking lion, like being an
Yeah,
actual
that lion was rogue, boy.
yes, that was very good. Black Adam's gonna be fucking fire.
I'm hyped for that one. Yeah.
I think Marvel messed up when they didn't pay the money that Rock probably wanted to grab him because, dude, Rock could play any. But Rock, I think Rock would. What I think is great about this role is he's playing like an anti-villain, so he's
Yes.
half hero, half villain, and a lot of people want to see that shit. I don't think they want to see that.
Everyone likes a good guy and a bad guy together all in one.
Yeah, I
It's like
agree.
a female, right? They like the good guy, but you got to be an asshole.
That's true because all the good guys fucking lose.
If you're too nice,
She'll cheat on you. Yeah, she'll cheat on you.
Dickheads, they'll kick you to the curb.
Yep.
You got to be an asshole, but you got to be sweet behind the scenes.
I agree, man. I agree. I'm trying to think, man. What other stuff you I saw all the Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai is awesome.
I saw that.
Every episode, bro. I listen. I'll be honest, I hate watching shows because I hate to just sit there. I like to watch a movie. I'll need a beginning, middle, end.
Yeah.
I'm good. I would binge watch this shit in one fucking day, bro. Like literally, as soon as I seen it was on, I would just sit there all day.
Yeah. So
Cobra Kai is awesome.
So perfect example. The way you like that flow, the American Horror Story has a quicker flow.
Okay.
There is no fucking backstory or
it's just right to the point.
Yeah, we're not worried about building characters for full episodes. It's just like right to the point. That was really good. And did you watch any of the Korean movies I told you, bro? The fighting Korean movies?
No, I haven't.
You are the fucking worst, man. Listen, man, I told this dude I gave him a full list of Korean movies. Now, Korean movies are fucking awesome. All the series is.
No, I'm bad, bro. I'm bad.
He's like, yeah, man, I'll watch it. I'll fucking, yeah. Nope, nothing.
I haven't. You know what I have watched? That's I watched the spin-offs of the show Power.
Okay.
Like
was
right
it good?
Now, I'm watching. What's it? The Keenan one.
Yes. Yes.
That's a good one. I watched all of them. I watched all. Those are my shows.
That's the only one I haven't seen. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't seen that. Yet.
The
Power, just in general, everything.
Keenan?
Yeah.
You haven't watched Power?
Mm-mm.
Bro.
I know.
Listen, my friend Cam,
yes,
who I used to live with when I first moved to Florida for like he got me hooked on it, and I just couldn't stop.
All right, here's I'll make a deal, right? When you watch an episode of American Horror Story, I'll watch an episode of Power, and then I'll prove it to you by sending it back to you.
I'll do it tonight.
There we go. You do that, I'll watch Power.
Sunday night American Horror Story. What's it on? What's it on?
Hulu. You have Hulu, right?
I got Hulu.
Hulu. All the whole seasons are on there. Again, it's a story, not the stories, because they have a whole spinoff.
Yeah.
Where they have just that shit sucks. That was shit. The story, that shit is good.
All right. I know my brother was into it a lot too. So
Yeah,
I
it was
just
fucking
I just never because he always wanted me to watch. What was that other show? With the dragons, Game of Thrones.
bro.
No, dude, I couldn't get into it.
Oh my god.
Let me
Well,
no, let me refer. So I watched the first season,
yes,
and at the end of the first season, where my favorite character got his head chopped off,
you were done,
I was like, "This is bullshit."
and you were done. Yep.
I didn't watch no more.
Then you know what? You probably would get a lot more angry watching more episodes. So it might be the best thing to do. There's
And
not
then I
watch it.
tried to chime in on the last season, and I'm like, "This show is ass."
You know what? It's fucking, it's all. Listen, you know what shows always do great, man? The ones like where you have characters being knocked off, right? Because you fall in love with them.
Yeah,
But the only thing is, like, you have to be willing to
I
invest.
just I was not ready for it to happen in the first season.
Well, yeah, because you invest yourself into fucking the character's development,
Yeah,
bro.
like if it happened in like the third or fourth, I'd be like, all right, fuck. But
Nah,
the
bro.
first one, I'm like, damn.
Listen, if you ever saw the season, I think it was 3 or 4, maybe 3, where they had the wedding and all the characters, like all of Snow's family that you would love, got all killed and chopped off heads in the middle of wedding, you'd be like, yeah, I'm done. And that was the season finale. So imagine people watching that back then and had to wait till like fucking next year. Or same thing when Jon Snow was killed and you didn't know if he was going to come back or what they did. Um, so
Jon Snow.
so they're doing an off series for him too. So he's going to get
Yeah,
his own series.
my mom loves it.
Mm-hmm. Everybody.
She's like, you need to watch it. I'm like, I didn't like Game of Thrones. She's like, yeah, this is better.
No, a game. I would say Game of Thrones is better than the House of Dragons.
That's what it is. House of
Yeah,
Dragons.
the
I'm like,
Game
I
of
don't
Thrones
know.
better. Yeah, just
She
watch.
goes on my Amazon Prime now and watches everything. So I can see what she watches now.
And you watch the same shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, are you buying movies without telling me? What the fuck? Why am I getting a buzz on my phone?
Oh, they just added on Amazon Prime the Viking movie Northman.
No, I didn't hear that.
It was supposed to be really good. It was in a theater for a little bit. It got a lot of good reviews, but then they said it was too masculine and too violent and all this shit. Yeah, I don't fucking know. But it's
what fucking world do we live in now?
yeah. So, but it's supposed to be like a really spot on Viking movie. It's called Northman.
I'll watch it. I'll watch that. I like shit like that.
Yeah. So watch that and then watch American Horror Story, and then we'll be friends again. Okay. Because until you watch it, we can't be friends.
You know what you gotta watch? Did you watch the new Gerard Butler movie on Netflix?
What's it called?
Um,
What's it about?
his wife gets taken, and he like it's your typical Gerard Butler.
Yes.
Stuff.
Yes. I did
But
see
it was like pretty badass. I don't care.
It was good. It was good.
My mom always said that. She's like, it's the same movie. I'm like, who cares? It was good.
But it's great because it's like having an NFT in different
like
colors.
Statham, they're all the fucking same.
They are.
Good.
Why do you think people love NFTs with different fucking colors? It's the same shit.
Same shit, just a different color.
Oh my god, fuck, man. Oh, when you know how do you feel? Oh shit, that's what I was gonna ask you. How do you feel about the Olympia going back to Florida next year?
I wish it was in Florida this year.
No. So, dude,
it was so nice. We just hopped in a car, took a drive down. We were there.
So, do you know the backstory?
I hate flying, man. But no, I'm excited for it to be in Vegas. Obviously, because I've never been to Olympia in Vegas.
Yeah.
But traveling purposes, it was
of
better.
Course. Are you gonna go to any of those fucking pool parties the Sunday after?
If I win.
If not, you're gonna be like, "Fuck this!
Fuck this!
I'm out."
Where's the best breakfast buffet around here?
Right. That's how I'm gonna fucking get my feelings back to normal. And
I need to eat into fucking sadness right now.
Bro, Vegas fucking it's so expensive. It's so.
But they might not
crazy.
even be open though, because it's gonna be cold, man.
Nah, bro.
Like it's in December. I know they don't open.
I'm wondering if they have something. No, they might have some inside though.
More inside, yeah.
Yeah, because there's always something, bro. You know what I mean? Because I figured you'd be like Chris Cormier whenever he used to do Olympias, and then it was like a fucking
go party before the show.
Yo, that motherfucker. We used to go right after the show, full blown, start drinking, fucking doing everything, and going dehydrated, and just didn't care.
No, I'm not. No, I can't do all that. I need the night to chill,
bro. That would be on fucking every single.
If I win the Olympia, though, I'm not. I'm going. There's no chilling. We're fucking partying.
Of course, man. Do you know the backstory why the Olympia's back in Florida next year?
No.
So, so the backstory is normally whoever books, the Olympia, right, for that whole organization, normally they book like 2 3 years straight up in advance. So
Right.
what happened is they screwed that person. I don't use the word screwed up, but for whatever reason, booked only 1 year. So then they were going back to book for next year, like sometime early this year, and the shit was already taken every date. So then we're stuck to go back to Orlando.
That's
So now,
okay.
yeah. So now I think when they're going the year after, when they're doing Vegas again, they'll do for like 2 3 years.
Orlando's where it's at.
I didn't listen, man. I liked Orlando. The weather's great. I think the convention center is awesome. Like
I
for
love it
the
there. I love
expo,
it there.
yeah. And the only thing that was rough, man, is like at the fucking Olympia itself, the seating, because it's straight like this, it's very difficult for
Yeah, yeah.
people to see in the front. Now, the whole backdrop was by far one of the best. Like that whole
Mhm.
presentation was by far one of the best. It's just that is very tough, man. Versus, when you're sitting this way,
Yeah,
look, at the end of the day, man, if you unless you're sitting in the front, you're still looking at the big fucking screen. So let's just be
I agree.
serious. Like, no matter fucking, so you're like nitpicking. You're technically looking down, so you get like that kind of view versus somebody's head in front of you if you're fucking short.
Of course.
But look, the minute you're past the first 25% of the rows, man, you're looking at that big screen.
Of
It's
course.
hard to fucking see. And that shit was sold out early, man, because I
Sure
got
was.
yeah, I got stuck getting seats all the way in the back. And I still got to find my seats for fucking Friday night. So I'm gonna have to be calling my connections and be like, yo,
You
just
better,
like a
you better get on that shit now, champ.
no, no, I am. I did that last year. I did it last year too. I reached out to a couple companies and I asked if they had any tickets floating, and I liked that. I think Centurion helped me out last year. They had
Good.
like
All right.
sort of. Listen, I'm going. I don't care. I don't give a fuck what's gonna happen. I'm making it
Just
happen.
walk in. Like,
Yeah,
fuck it.
I'm making it fucking happen. So, but all right, Nick. So listen, man, real quick, thank you for jumping on, bro.
No,
It's
thank you. Thank you.
always a fucking pleasure, guys. I'm sure Nick will be back on a lot more times, just joking around and spitting shit. And have a good day, man.
Thank you, Bill. You too.